Good day everyone, this is Junaid Khan. I am a regulated Canadian immigration consultant. Today's video is going to be important for many people, and there are some exciting news from Immigration Canada, especially people who wish to apply for permanent residency in express entry draws. So past couple of months have been really disturbing. The draws were very high, the CEC draws are very high. People, especially from outside Canada, were really hoping to have the score lower down a little bit, but it was very difficult for pretty much everyone. The picture you are going to check in on my screen, it is a release from February 27th, 2025. The good news is Immigration Canada has added few people who are basically engaged in different occupation which were not in the express entry before. So I have been mentioning multiple times in my videos that there are the NOCs who are in the category based selection, the French speaking, the science, technology, engineering, math, the trade occupations, the transport occupations and all that stuff. But on February 27th, 2025, immigration has added one new slot, which is very interesting. For me, it is very interesting, and I feel like there are a lot of people are basically in this sector, and that is basically the education sector. The people who are engaged in teaching early childhood education. If I have to be really specific, I'm going to read it from it. So there are going to be education such as teacher, childcare educator, and instructor of persons with disabilities. Now these are the three categories, but they're not just three. There are some other categories within this institute as well, that if you are engaged in activities like that, if you are job or occupation or in this similar or particular sector, then this is going to be an occupation in demand draw. I'm going to explain a little bit in detail and specifically for this sector, and I feel like the education sector was not in the category based selection, was not in demand category for a very long time. This has been added recently in February, the end of February, and I think this is a good news for a lot of people who are currently doing the jobs in education sector. Other than the education sector, I'm just going to explain a few other occupations in this video, but this is going to be particularly for the people who are engaged in the education sector. So other than that, healthcare always been there. I have made a couple of videos. I have talking to a lot of people who are engaged in healthcare, but other than the healthcare, there are social services such as family physicians. They are in healthcare. Practical nurses, dentists, pharmacists, psychologists, and chiropractors. Some of these were already in the healthcare sector before, but few of them have been added recently. Other than that, the trades are going to be carpenter, plumbers, and contractors. So we will leave all of them aside. I will make a different video on this, but today, particularly talking about category-based selection for the new additional tab, which you can now see on my screen. You can check, there was, before it was different, but now on top is French, healthcare, STEM, trade, agriculture, and then you can see at the end the education occupation. So if we go further into the education occupation, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different NOCs. So let me explain one by one what are these 5 NOCs, what categories of job they're supposed to be doing, and what these people, if they're interested to migrate to Canada, what these people should be doing at this point. So number 1, elementary and secondary school teacher assistants. So you have to be particular. So the NOC is 43100. The category is tier 3. I'm telling again, it's elementary and secondary school teacher assistants. I'm not talking about teachers here. There are different categories. The teacher assistants. NOC is 43100. You can check, and you have to see when you go search this NOC, there are going to be main duties written on the knock, under this knock. So you have to see that the job you are performing right now are supposed to be 100%, if not 100%, 80% or 90% are supposed to be matching those major duties. Another knock, which is going to be job tier 2, it's a little higher than that, and that is instructors of persons with disabilities. People who have been engaged in multiple NGOs, or there are multiple schools, there are institutes where people have been helping and doing their jobs and taking care of the people with disabilities. So if you are one of them, the knock is 42203. Check the main duties. If you are in the main duties are matching with your current job, you are going to be in demand occupation going forward after February. I mean now. Early childhood educators and assistants. Now again, there's one knock, but there are two people involved in this: early childhood educators and assistants. So if you are not a licensed ECE, which in some countries you have to be a licensed ECE. In Canada, if you want to be early childhood educator, you have to complete your course, and then after completing your course, you have to have your license. But if you don't have a license and you are assistants, you are in demand occupation as well. Check the knock 42202, and then if your main duties are in that, you can basically start working out for the express entry category as well. Other than that, there's elementary school and kindergarten teachers. Now we're talking about teachers who are taking care of just the elementary school and the kindergarten. Schools who are basically, if you don't have to be teaching high school, you have to be teaching in a college or a university. It's just talking about the kindergartens. 41221. Check the knock, main duties. You are going to be one of them after that. And then the last one is secondary school teachers. So all 5 of them are basically associated with the Department of Education, Department of Teaching, and this is very interesting. I have not seen these knocks in demand from a longest time. So the question is, how long are these not going to be in demand? The answer, I don't know. Honestly, no one knows at that point. This is recently added on February 27, 2025. And what are these going to expire, and how long are these going to be in express entry? I don't know, but I feel like these are not going to be there for a very long time. I have been saying this particular line in most of my videos that the knocks are in demand today are not gonna last forever, not gonna be there for years. Right now, the amount of application Immigration Canada is proceeding for express entries and PNPs are humongous. There are millions of applications. So that means people are applying from around the globe. Now you need to be in the pool. If you are in one of these, you don't have to stay back and then, if you're interested, you have to stay back and then see, okay, we'll do it. But the good idea is always, whenever something's starting, you have to be in the front of the line. These 5 occupations, I know personally a lot of people who are basically involved in these, and there are so many different schools in the UAE sector, Pakistan, India, pretty much every country, schools are there. So, and there are so many teachers. So if you're interested, this is going to be for you. Now, again, I'm going to explain a little bit about the express entry and what you need to be doing at this amount of time, at this time, to basically eligible in the express entry pool. Again, 4 things. There are going to be 4 factors always: age, education, work experience, and English proficiency. So what you need to be doing at this moment, you have to get your degree evaluated. You have to get your ECA done from World Education Service, ICAS. There are multiple different institutions who does it for you, and you have to prepare yourself for English proficiency. So there are IELTS, PDE, KIL, STELPIP. Now 6 each is eligibility criteria, but I don't know what the first draw is going to look like. What are going to be scores in this? I am thinking it's definitely going to be in 400s, but I don't know if it's a mid 400s or high 400s. But I feel like the IELTS is going to be the one department which will basically put you in a position in the draw system. So evaluation, number one, number two, English proficiency. These are the two things you should be worrying about at this moment if you are interested. Now, very important part here. So I'm going to read it from at the actual Immigration Canada website. So within the past 3 years, at least 6 months of full-time continuous work experience. Most of the categories in express entry, the federal immigration program, the 3-year work experience is mandatory in a way that if you have a 3 years of work experience, you will get a good points in express entry system. But these categories, the education categories I'm talking about, in the past 3 years, you should only have 6 months of full-time continuous working experience, which is amazing. I mean, you don't really have to have working experience of 3 years or more, or 2 years, or 3 years, or 5 years. Only 6 months is the continuous and the full-time work experience is required. This is really a good news for the people who have been involved in these occupations, and I feel like this is going to be a good opportunity if you are interested in express entry permanent residency stream. Again, these are the 5 knocks. 2 steps should be done from your side, which is going to be the English proficiency and the ECA, the evaluation of your degree. Get those documents done, and you should have your profile in the pool as soon as possible. Let's see how the first draw, what the first draw is going to look like. But I feel like it is not going to be very, very high, because overall the draws are going to drop a little bit in 2025. Thank you very much.